start, we would like everybody to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. All right, the Knicks had a busy week, really a busy week of losing other than the last game. So today we're going to talk a little bit about Dennis Smith Jr. We're going to talk about Tibbs and his stance on how he sees the team. And then, of course, we got to touch on Julius Randle. But first, I would like to thank some of our Instagram followers who have come over to subscribe. So we appreciate that. Yeah, Joey. So, what's the take with Randle? Is he an all-star? Is he an
all-star? I think, yeah, but not for no all-star game.
You don't think so?
No.
I mean, you don't think?
I feel like an impact. I feel like even like when it's it's an impact. I can't think of no all-star that made the all-star game and they not winning.
No, it's people that made the all-star. I mean, his
somebody
numbers
convince me that his impact to me on the court.
I'm gonna do that right now. Yeah. Look, his numbers, his 20 and 10. It's an impactful 20 and 10. It's not like last year, where we was losing. Well, we might have had 3-4 games won or something like that. We basically around 500, and there's talk too that we could be in the playoffs. So, and that's because of Randle. I mean, there's a lot of things that's not happening because of Randle, but for the most part, that's a 20 and 10 impact on a good team. So to me, if it was going to be an all-star game, they're still going to select the team. To me, he would be an all-star. The only thing kept him out probably last year was our winning. It wasn't his numbers, but it wasn't impactful. Like, it didn't produce wins. His numbers this year are producing wins, and you can see when he get into the lane to side, he's going to penetrate and kick out. It helps the team.
So it's more controlled. It's just he's not the best of the best to me right now. Like, I feel like he still got to show me more.
Well, the best of the best.
I don't know if I'm just being hard on him because he's on the Knicks and they all looking to him for scoring, but I don't really see him.
Nah, he's doing it. He doing it. I mean, pretty much maybe 2 games or something. He's doing it every single day. And then I look at too the players around him. Is he making them better? Some of them maybe. With the kickouts and then drawing the double teams, and in some cases the triple team, because there's usually a third man keeping an eye on Randle. So I think that Randle would be an all-star. Now you're talking about the superstars. After you get voted in, those are the ones you can never argue about. The fans are allowed to vote for who they're allowed to vote for. But then when the coaches go and pick, from a coaching standpoint too, for what he's doing, I bet you a lot of coaches would like to have him for what he's doing.
So I look at it like this. I just seen a clip with Iman Shumpert, and he was talking about Melo. And he was like, Melo's going to take the blame every time they lose. And, he's going to get it when they win. So he said there was a pass. He said, yo, Melo, I was wide open. He said, well, I'll work on this. He said, because if I pass you the ball, you better make it. So in Randle's case, he's not held to that standard for me. He's not like, if he throws it back out to quickly better make it. No, it's quickly doing his job. Peyton's doing his job. You know what I mean? Everybody on the team is doing their job, and he's just making sure he's consistent. It's not like with Melo when it's clutch times and you make it. We just lost to the Bulls, and then we turn around and beat them. Like, we shouldn't even lose to them at all.
No, we shouldn't have, but a credit to, and I don't want to give Randle the credit on that one, because to me that one goes to the coach of making an adjustment. Like, first we was beat on the threes in the back door. They just killed us. So then he made that adjustment. So now they didn't kill us with, I think they shot 4 or 5 or some team number. So we adjusted on that. And then the back door, we kept an eye on the back. So that adjustment should have been made during the game, the one that we lost.
So now I'm about to put the pressure on you.
Go ahead.
So that shooter we got. But what's his name? That guy
Look, Bullock. Okay, Bullock.
Not Bullock.
Who?
The other dude that got hurt. What's it? I forgot how.
Burke?
Yeah, Burke. So if he don't get hurt.
Well, he's a scorer.
So if he don't get hurt, he's scoring how he's scoring. How come he not being an all-star for the Knicks? Because he was consistent.
I mean, then you don't know. I'm saying, had he not gotten hurt, then you don't know. It's not to say There's teams that might used to get 4 people on.
But that's what I'm saying. So that make him an all-star?
No, it don't make him an all-star because maybe his impact is a direct
consistency.
Because of Randle, maybe that's why his impact was the way it was. You know, but who's to say if he'd have probably kept up a role like that? You know, maybe who's to say? But we're talking also by position. You know, at his position, it might be harder, of course, to make the All-Star game. But at Randle's position in the East, it might be easier to make the All-Star game. But what Randle is putting up, when you go down the list of the East, what Randle's doing, not too many guys in the East is doing that.
Yeah, he's balling. It's just, I'm just holding him to a standard because we on the Knicks, and he's not really. If the ball goes in his hand, and I don't know what to think. Like, it's not like.
I mean, he
doesn't got a go-to move. He just doing that step.
No, his go-to move is his, but it's his.
He's not doing the spin
It's his drive right, pound it driving right, and then pull up with the fade. If he can take out the fade, like he hit a big shot at the end of the Bulls game doing that same move. It went in, but I was like, why would you risk in that situation? We needed a basket to stem them off. Why would you risk shooting that one? Because you're not guaranteed to make that shot. You know, but again, when you're 6'9" and you're that close to the basket, it looks wild to us. But when you're 6'9", you're shooting over the basket when you're that close, jumping up in the air. So it probably looks like shooting into a Nerf hoop, you know, to them guys. But I think he deserves it. But I also think I would even dare to say if he was to clean up some of his selfishness, like I look at when RJ gets the ball. Now RJ asks for a clear out. But in situations where RJ gets the ball, and it's like, Randle, you may have been the one to set the pick, but now get out the way. It's almost like you stand there like I'm going to watch you, RJ. Go ahead, go one-on-one, then like throw it right back to me. Like, get out of the way and do some movement so RJ can work on that move. Because after that Clipper game, I think now RJ and IQ are going to raise their game to even higher level because they got to go against the best people at what they do, you know. So, and
it seems like they got more of the green light. That was our complaint in the beginning of the year. Maybe Tibbs is doing the right thing. Because my complaint was, if you're gonna let them play and do their thing. So now we know when we like, why is quickly? Remember he came off the injury. We was like, why he's not shooting like he was? And now the coach said, we want you to do that. And so now he's doing it. Why he's not doing the floater like he was? So he started missing it. Now he's making them again. I think the more comfortable you are doing it, the only thing RJ got to work on, I think he should just stay away from 3-point and just keep that mid-range.
Yeah, shoot the three when you have to.
The mid-range. Like,
yeah, shoot the three when you got it. Right.
Yeah, like everybody, and this is another thing too that's weird about the NBA. Everybody don't have a 3-point shot. Everybody's not a 3-point shooter. Everybody's not even a shooter. Now it's just now in the NBA it makes it seem like you got to shoot, drive, dunk. Like,
I know.
Everybody got to do it. But RJ, if he stick to that mid-range and drive to the basket and not even worry about that three, just take it when you wide open, I feel like he
wouldn't be inventing the wheel because Kawhi Leonard made a living off of that. You know, Jimmy Butler, like they'll shoot the three, but their basic game is you're not going to tell me, you know, as a defender, you're not going to tell me where I'm not going on the court. So it seems like he's starting to recognize that. And then also, and same thing with IQ, which was Tibbs' thing in the beginning, was that there was no practice because they sent us out on the road. You know, Knicks had the longest road schedule, you know, for like the first 20 games of the season. Which we were at the quarter, a little bit past the quarter mark. But we was on the road so much. You know, I think, and that might have helped us in terms of developing chemistry. It don't seem like we got chemistry, but, you know, developing that, you know, that team play and looking out for each other. You know, but as far as the league, they didn't do us no justice sending us out on the road so much that we weren't able to practice. So now that the Knicks have been coming home and able to get some practice time, and now you're able to see. You know, and I think that's why, you know, certain people coach don't give up on because he you know, remember Tibbs said before, he wants to be able to see it in practice before he put you in the game, you know, give you that green light in the game. And Quigley got it. RJ got it. RJ's will go as far as Randle allows him to go. You know, Randle, you know, still, this still has a lot of faults, like be a decoy. But in terms of Randle being an all-star, you know, because let's just throw a hypothetical.
And he's not that's another. He's not really getting double teamed. Like,
I think he's getting double because
like
people. Most games when he got it going, they got people around him. He just forcing he forced a triple team shot against the Bulls the other day, which in traffic, which I didn't understand. You in the paint, so if there's three around you in the paint, there's two open. And then if you throw it up to Mitch, that's 4, because Mitch is always open.
Yeah, Mitch, I kind of feel bad for Mitch. Somebody just asked the question the other day. I seen they said, we need post moves. Do you think Mitch can take on that role? I mean, I wonder, like, we was watching the show. We said, we were saying
Watch the show.
You know what I mean? Mitch can do that. I feel like he can. He just stopped doing it because I see him run through the middle of the paint and they don't even look his way.
Yeah, but they have to.
I think he just discouraged. Like, he just run through the paint and play hard.
But what they have to do is, and when you in practice, that's where they throw it to him in practice. And now, as coaches, developmental coaches, now you can stop him when you see it. You know, blow that whistle. Okay, Mitch, when you got it, you just turned and went. No, maybe give him a fake left or right, or give him a pivot, you know, or something like that, to give him a head and shoulder fake.
So Gibson is a good.
Yeah, but I mean, but I'm saying, but we brought. I mean, Kenny Payne, right? Gibson's there, but Gibson's not. That's not his.
I'm talking about he's a good person to practice it on.
Yeah, anybody. I don't care who. I don't care if you practice on a guard. Just get it in the post and work on the move. Get the footwork down, and that's where Kenny Payne and them, to me, will come in at. And then soon as he get it, but in practice, make sure he's getting it. See that, you know, same thing with Obi. You know, Tibbs, he keeps saying, you know, Obi's athleticism and what Obi can do. Okay, but then throw the ball to him X amount of times in the game. Go over it in practice, and then because one thing to get it in the certain situations in the game, when you practice it and everybody on your team know it's coming to you, so now they know what they're supposed to be doing. That's what's going to help make Mitch and Obi better low post players. Because if Mitch just trying to get it and fumble it up real fast, you know, he looks he almost looks silly. But I believe that if he can get it and get his footwork down, and that's only going to happen by throwing it to him. Because he got the hops, he can just jump over the player, you know, push come to shove.
Because he knows he's getting it in spots that he wants to work it at.
Yeah, but when he get it right now, it's just like...
Yeah, let me hurry up.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it came to me?
Same thing with Obi. It's like they get it, and it's almost like anxious.
Yeah, Knox's problem is his own. Because to me with Knox, and that's a whole nother conversation, because he has to make that growth in his own right. Because when you get it, like you go against the small forwards, the best small forwards in the league every night when you do play. Right now, you just happen to be out of rotation. But that's on you. You know, even those games where he shot those 4 or 5 threes and made them, I like seeing it, but I wasn't convinced because of the way you did it. You know, but Mitch's help, I think now he's beginning to help them. And maybe staying out of the way is another way of helping those guys. You know, so I think Mitch deserves to be an all-star. I think if it wasn't, there'll be selections, but if it was an all-star game, I believe Mitch would be in it. Just based on the Knicks record, you know, he will be in it. And if you look up and down the East, at that power forward position, it'd be hard to make a case for not having Mitch on the team. You know, and not to take nothing away from another player, but you know, we got a guy that teams are gearing and planning for, and that to me makes you an all-star. You know, so if you agree that Mitch should be an all-star, you know, let us know in the comments. But it's going to be hard to tell me he shouldn't. You know. All right. Next, we're going to step on this conversation with DSJ and his voluntary to go to the G League. What do you think about that?
I think that was good for us. And good for him too. You know what I mean? Because he's not. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking like almost like I'm like the owner. Like he needs some type of value to his game for trading. Like nobody ain't gonna want him if they think he's just washed up. So
I
think he need to go to the G League because we at this point we looking for guards and more forwards so it's like it's over for that.
Well, see now this is I was done with DSJ, and then when I did first see the article about him wanting to go to the G League, right? So at year 3 or 4, whatever it is, that that's a lot of balls now at this point to go to the coach to ask to go. So that encouraged me a little bit because now okay, you go there and increase your value, right? Trade value. But what if he get that mojo back on why he was selected where he was selected? What if he develops that back in the G League?
Yeah, but that still got to translate.
Could he?
To the team.
Right. No, well, I mean, in his case, he probably just need to see himself do it. Like if Knox went down to the G League, which he don't want to, and he shined, I don't know if that would be the same. If Dennis Smith goes down, he's going down with the ball in his hand, and then all of a sudden, you start to remember all them little tricks he used to do with the ball. You know, all those little moves to get to the hole. You know, maybe that comes back to you. You know, so I'm kind of interested to see how when he goes down there, and he's gonna dominate, right? Because he's gonna blow by a lot of them guys, and get back into those dunks and all those little highlight things of why people love them in the first place. But I'm now thinking about the impact he can have on us. Because what if? Okay, we don't know what the Knicks' real thinking is. I know what I want them to be trying to win, get in the playoffs. We don't know what the real rebounding plan is as far as rebuilding. But yeah, what if somebody wants some of our other guys, and then he has to come back up and play? The G League might be a good thing for him or us.
The only thing that's about DSJ is you on the bench, right? And we know you're a good player. You looking at the team and you know what we lack in point guards or in the team period. So if you knew everybody loves Quickly because he can break down the defense and get to the hole with a floater or get that quick three up. Alfred Payton, we knew when he was kind of making us frustrated because he wasn't hitting that 3-point shot. So what are you doing other than practice when everybody's talking about they staying after the game? What was you doing? That was my only concern. Like, you not
calling
hurt.
his agent.
You know what I mean? Calling his agent, but like that was my concern. Like, you even thinking about players like Kobe, right? They get hurt, they change their game, 2 dribbles, quick shot. Like, where is that at? Like where in basketball did you all right, let me just take a couple dribbles to the left. If they don't move, let me just shoot it. Or like, why you gotta do all that Derrick Rose stuff?
Yeah, he worked. Well, that's his game because he worked on. I mean, it showed.
That's his game, but you're not playing no more because that don't work no more. Nobody's doing that.
Well, what
Everybody
we needed,
that doing that don't work for them.
But what we needed at the time, he couldn't provide because we needed a guard that could shoot, and he worked on his jumper in the summer. I think in the preseason, it took a couple of them and looked like okay, he changed his jump shot, looked good, but it just wasn't translating. Then we needed a penetrating guard. So everything that we needed quickly started to give us. You know, real quick at that.
But that's what we saying. Like, Quickly, we said that about RJ Barrett like 2 years ago, right? Is why does any other rookie come in the league and they playing NBA minutes and doing NBA things? So that's why we give Quickly so much praise, even though almost a little bit more than RJ, is because he's coming in the league doing NBA things, right? He's paving his own way, some kind of way. So RJ now is catching up to speed. So DSJ got to catch up to speed. It's like, we know you can get to the basket. If you was hitting your threes, then they will overplay you to get to the basket. Yeah. So I don't get where you are struggling. It's you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think the G League is really going to help him. It's going to show that.
Oh, no, I think it is.
Look, it's going to show that he can dunk on somebody, but how that going to
Yeah, but just the fact, I mean, I said the dunking, but just the fact that he has handles. Like he has that handles. I ain't gonna say Kyrie handles, but he has that flow. He just can't get into it because in his head, I think he knows he's getting yanked quick. I think he's probably working on the wrong things in the summer, supposed to try to improve your jump shot. But maybe his thing, should have been penetrate into the lane and pull up and shoot. That'd be more your speed.
You a point guard, you supposed to be a Swiss Army knife, to me. You
know but every point guard can't do.
Every point guard.
Everybody's not Chris Paul.
It's not working for Westbrook. It's not working for Derrick Rose. It's not working for who else?
But you can't stop them from getting to the hole, though.
You can't stop them.
None of them can shoot.
And I'm saying none of them can shoot, but it's not working for them. That's what I'm saying. So he got to figure that out. Like, you got to, as an NBA player, you got to sit there and be like, all right, so what I got to do more of? If Chris Paul wasn't making his shot, I'm pretty sure he's gonna pass it and take it to the hole.
Yeah, but I would dare to say, and I don't know why I'm even defending Dennis Virginia, but I would dare to say, if he quickly was smart too. He came in passing, setting people up. That's the fastest way to win over your team. So I would dare to say for Dennis Smith Jr., if he gets a chance to come back, or while he's down there, work on your assist game. Work on trying to move the team around like a maestro. You know, kind of what Quigley, what he do, because I like when Quigley goes to the hole and that man is behind him. he keeps that man behind him. And it's like players now, they wait, especially the big guys. They wait for their turn to enter into the lane to either get the alley-oop or the pass. So it's like that. It's like Quigley now, he's playing with the defense. You know, I'm controlling the defense when I'm on offense. You know what I mean? So Dennis Smith Jr., you know, think about that part of setting. How do you set people up? But more than just setting up the alley-oop, because that's the easiest thing for the Knicks to do. We was doing that when we was losing last year. But set the other guys up. You know, get guys in motion and have the conversation. You start passing to people where they can get open shots. Then the team will buy into you real quick. You know, and that's what IQ was able to do. He was able to get their confidence that way. So now he can do no wrong with the ball. You know, a lot of things he still got to work on. But what he do well, he's doing a lot of it. You know, so, but that's kind of interesting though with DSJ, and where can that lead for him? Because what if people want Rivers? I mean, we're not giving up IQ. You know, what if somebody wants Peyton? You know, stuff like that. What if somebody wants Frank? And then now you might be left with, you know, IQ and DSJ. You know, so just food for thought.
I mean, DSJ, like I said, he's not a bad player. I don't mind having him. Like, all the guards, like, we definitely don't want to give him IQ, but it depends on what guard he's getting back. Like,
there's nobody to get back.
There's no way I can see the Knicks trade him for a guard that, like, you know you're not going to keep. Like,
well, you're not trading IQ. That's
what I'm saying. Like don't trade for no guard.
Yeah, I'm talking about Peyton and Frank and them guys.
Like, really. I don't even mind IQ staying off the bench still. You know what I mean? If we get a better guard. Like, yeah, let him get his minutes the way he getting them, and let us have the guard that, you know what I mean, we want. Because it's not hurting him right now that he's coming off the bench. So.
All right. Another thing I want to talk about real quick is when I've been watching, you know, some of the post-game show, and now a few in a row, you know, the coach talk about almost like he knows, like, of course, I think we can make the playoffs and make the playoffs in a good seed. But his assessment of the team. So in his mind now, he knows what he's not. Like, he knows he's not Philly. He knows he's not Milwaukee. So it was almost kind of scaring me of is management maybe getting to his ear to now at this point maybe to start toning down. I don't think so, because I just can't see Tibbs doing that. But it's smart as a coach to know where you are as a team. You know you're not a powerhouse. But again, to make the playoffs and try to get a good seed can only strengthen your ability to recruit the next player. Not just recruit the next player, because the next player don't have to be a superstar in a sense. And then also even in the draft, at least by real need, you'll know who's worthy of leading and carrying a team, because the holes that you have to fill, and we touched on this last week, you know, we have to start knowing, and hopefully a coach is on the same line with that, what we're going to need next year. I think next year is when he's going to make his mark. But who do you need and what do you need? And then go out and get those type of player or players, you know, to help this team win. But he just sounds like, okay, like we're coaching, we're coaching to get better. We're coaching to improve players regardless of whatever happened to us, you know, and it's like, I hope they're not falling into that trap.
Why we can't fall into like a Philly and the Celtics, in the sense of they drafted those players. Now, the stars align for them because they actually turned out to be really good. But same thing for us. Like, what happened if Quickly is going to be really good. What happened RJ Barrett is going to be really good. What happened if Mitchell Robinson is going to be really good. All you got to do is keep adding until the superstar emerges. Or a superstar gets there, because you could end up potentially getting a big 2 and not a big 3. You know what I mean?
But that's how right. But that's how they have to be coached.
Golden State
right now.
Klay Thompson, like we ain't nobody knew that was gonna happen. You know what I mean? So I feel like just keep making like a positive change more so than a negative. Don't dismantle something that's that's working. Because clearly, yeah, we're not the best team, but whatever that young core is doing is working.
And if they could be consistent, we can definitely be up there with the best team.
Yeah, so just go. So, if the power forward position is interchangeable, all right, so go get another one. If the point guard is interchangeable, without getting ready like like quickly. All right, so go get another one. If Alfred Payton just really not doing the best job you think he could, so go get another one. If Reggie Bullock to me ain't doing the best job he could, all right, so go get JJ Redick. Like, so go get that player that you think is going to be consistent.
Yeah,
what we missing.
Well, this ties me into my last thing I want to talk about was the Zach LaVine trade rumors, and Coach had him in Minnesota for a little while, so it's talk that he want to reunite with him.
Yeah,
so
I'm all for it.
So I know it's just like
it depends on who they're gonna give up for it.
Well, probably pretty sure somebody like that they're not giving up nothing of real value. So can he work with a Randle? See, this is the question for me for the Knicks.
I'm not so who you think they would give up for exactly?
I couldn't even say who. I could almost say who they won't give up, and we know it's not. We know it's not Mitch, and we know it's not RJ. We know it's not IQ, right? So we know it's not Obi. You know what I mean? So we know it's not your core.
And here's the thing with
your
Randle,
core players.
This is another thing too. Why we keep trying to say who's gonna work with Randle? When we all know deep down inside that Randle is like the second, the third option on any other team. Right,
Joey. But you have to understand now the realization for the Knicks. Is he that now for us? He might now be their guy, like Randle. I mean, he might because you look at even if you look at Toronto, with Pascal Siakam, right? So he was going to be their man last year, and then all of a sudden that young boy emerges too, and now he's getting more shine in Toronto. They don't have a superstar, even though Lowry always makes the All-Star team. So there is and then take Tatum. There is players who aren't superstars that teams have decided they have to ride with. I'm just thinking that maybe the Knicks feel that they are going to ride with Randle and put the guys around Randle.
Jason Tatum has an impact on the Celtics, though. So when he was out, you saw it. Like, something's not right. As soon as he come back, it's like, all right, it's back to normal.
Yeah, and that's what Kevin Knox should be, because to me, they're similar players.
So now back to Randle. Randle don't put that fear in no team heart. Teams still think they can run all over Randle. Randle's demeanor, if he's gonna be that guy, I need him to believe he's that guy. So that's my issue with Randle. He
does believe he's that guy, and that's why he calls for the ball every time he up and down the court.
Because he can. If DSJ was on Dallas and he can call for the ball when he can, and then a young boy from overseas come and he's like, "Oh, I could do that better." And then what happened? Your behind is in New York.
Listen, we got to listen. We just got to face the fact that, and I don't know what's going to happen for Randle for the years to come, but right now he's the Knicks. He's their guy. So, are they going to give Randle away? Will they just trade Randle to be trading Randle? Will they bring in somebody that can't play with Randle? I mean, these are just questions.
So he's our guy until the second half of the season, and let's just say, RJ does start hitting his shot. And let's say quickly it just start hitting from Curry range. Let's say he's off the pick and roll and he just start jacking. So now is Randle still number one, or is he now number two?
In coach's eyes, right now, unless you bring in a real superstar, Randle is. I don't care what nobody do.
I'm talking, but his job is not like set in stone. What I'm saying, his job is like
with the
Siakam. His job is like if a young boy start hitting
with the Knicks,
it's over.
Right, and that's going to be an addition. With Tibbs right now, Randle is his guy. Randle right now is the face of the Knicks. We all think Quigley should be. We all think maybe RJ should be. Right now, in Tibbs' eyes, Randle's the face of the Knicks. So anything else everybody else gives us, people that we got right now, that's an addition to what Randle is doing. I'm just telling you how I think Coach sees it. Like, Randle is our superstar, whether we like it or not.
As a fan, I think our face of the Knicks is like how Philly is. Like, even though Coach said we not, is the face of Philly ain't Embiid. It was Embiid. Who else they got over there? It was like that big Simmons, and it was like a couple of them. It was like they was the face.
But
trust the process.
But Simmons Simmons was the face.
I'm talking about Embiid was just the whole. He was just the carry on guy. He was just like the.
But he was their star, and
he was the Michael
Jackson.
Jackson.
Right, but everybody else had to come in and change around Simmons. I mean, around Embiid. Embiid was their guy. There was no doubt about it that when you thought Philly, you think Embiid.
but then you will ramble off a couple people.
Well, you can't because they got better players, the better talent.
Yeah, we saying IQ, we say R.J. Barrett, we say Mitchell Robinson, we even throw in Knox a couple times. There's not one time we hyped up and say Randle.
All right, but right now, right at this Randle moment, is the face of a Knicks. And when a team,
I'm not trying to come at you like that.
When another coach right now is dissecting when they're going to play the Knicks, right? The first person I'm pretty sure is on their board is how we're going to stop Randle.
Yeah, but you ain't going.
How we going to stop Randle? I mean, of course you're going to think about RJ and IQ when he comes into the game, but Randle is a guy I bet you on 33 or 29 other teams. 26, 27 of them got Randle on their board when they say, okay, we play the Knicks tomorrow night. This is what we're going to do to, Now, it doesn't work because Randle gets the ball in so many different ways for us, like superstars do. I'm not saying Randle is a superstar, but Randle is the face of the Knicks right now.
So this drive the Tiz. What happens if you can get Lonzo Ball from the Pelicans, right?
They're not going to give up Randle for him.
I'm talking about now.
I want Lonzo.
No. Say now you do get Zach LaVine, but you had to give up Randle, and you maybe got somebody else. What'd you do? Would it drop the
Well, what is the somebody else? Who's the somebody else?
I'm just saying, because Randle for Zach LaVine, that's not even trade, right?
No, I wouldn't even do that trade.
I'm talking about if you had Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, and all the young guys we got. That's not an upgrade from just Randle?
It's not an upgrade from Randle. What it is
just Randle,
it's an opportunity now for the other guys to step up.
But that's what we want. That's what we want Randle to help them do. Randle's not making them better like a LeBron James. Every time I hit you in the corner, you make sure you open. He's not doing that. He's passing it to Alfred Payton.
I know. No, you're right. That's my concern too.
So what I'm saying is Randle is a nice piece. But if nobody's just going to come to the Knicks and be with Randle, then it's hard to say what Randle is. Now, if there's is Randle good enough for another team to go, all right, Antetokounmpo, we don't want you, we'll take Randle. No. So see, you laugh.
That coffee, boy.
But that's what I'm saying. You're
but that's a different.
You're not gonna be like, yo.
No, but that's a different type. Yeah, but you talking about that's the apples and oranges. You can't talk about.
So that's what I'm saying. So
Kumpo and say,
do you want Devin Booker or do you want Randle?
Okay, now that's not now we talking right now. So if Devin Booker, that's different because now you're getting a star.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right, a star player.
Would they take Randle?
Who
over Devin Booker?
With some pieces, if they was losing Devin Booker. They would take Randle with some, because everybody knows in the league that Randle is 20 and 10. On a bad night, he's 20 and 10. Now, how does he get his 20 and 10 on a real good team? Now that remains to be seen.
In the perfect world, we would somehow got Devin Booker if he just left them and we still have Randle on the bench or something. That's like a perfect world, but it's not going to be perfect. In order for us to get that star, Randle's going to leave.
For a star player, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Randle's going to leave.
We talking about we're not going to get a star player.
That's what I'm saying. We talking about pieces. And we know we just got to wait for a star to come to us, because that's what it's looking like. A star got to want to come to New York. We're going to have to trade the whole team.
You got to develop that star.
The only way we going to get a star right now is somebody's going to go. They're going to want RJ. They're going to want Quickly. They're going to want Mitch. They're going to want them young boys. They're not going to want Knox. They're not going to want DSJ. They're not going to want maybe Alfred Payton, but Alfred Payton not going to get no star. Randle, Alfred Payton, and one of them guys is probably going to get us the star. That's why I'm thinking, we got to be realistic with ourselves. We're not going to get rid of Randle without getting rid of somebody we know we want.
Yeah, listen, Randle, right? I'm just going to go back to that because you said a lot in there. But let's go back to the other star of another team. If another team comes and say, we'll give you our superstar, and you give us Randle and one of your young stars, your Knicks probably would do that deal. But at the same time, we don't want to do like we did with Melo and have a superstar and don't give him right. So right now you're building a good foundation of players. So RJ is learning and growing. Quickly is learning and growing. You may not have to do that.
Now let's talk about the foundation. So what I'm saying is, Lonzo Ball and Zach LaVine, to me, is still a better foundation than just Randle, because you get the point guard you want, right? You still got Quickly, that's learning, that can still take over for Lonzo Ball, and you can even swap them out, because who cares if he starts or not. And then you still got Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine don't hurt you.
Yeah,
now we just don't got no posts.
Look, I'm not in love with Zach LaVine. I'm just saying, with Ball, yeah, I would probably do
Zach
it.
LaVine demeanor.
Zach LaVine with Ball. Right, so I would not do a Zach LaVine by himself for Randle. I wouldn't do.
No, not by himself. I'm saying,
right. You give me ball and him.
He was giving the ball.
Yeah, because Lonzo can unlock
the
the other players. That's why I said last week, if we traded for Lonzo, he can unlock Obi and Mitch and Kevin Knox and them because they're going to run. He's going to push the ball ahead. So that just changes the dynamic of our team. So we probably go from a running team, to a walk-up team to a running team. So that's, I would do that one. But I wouldn't just say, okay, I'm just getting rid of Randle. No, now I got to really tell myself when somebody wants Randle in a trade. Because you could take back another player with Randle. If it's a superstar, you got to get rid of Randle because Randle handles the ball. His whole game is predicated on handling the ball. So if he's not handling the ball, which he's not really that great at it to me, but that's still, he has it maybe 60, 70% of the time. So you can't have Randle and another superstar starting in the same lineup, rather. Because Randle's whole game is handling the ball.
And where was he at before the Knicks?
He was with the Pelicans.
With who?
Peyton and AD.
And
he played well. He played center alongside AD. Right, AD was the star, but Randle's shine really rose when AD got hurt or sat out when he went to trade.
But it didn't hurt them. He was the number 2 option.
I don't know if they even made the playoffs.
I'm talking about, but they was the number 3 option. But see what I'm saying? They didn't even make the playoffs, and they had AD.
Yeah, so because he sat out. No, that's because AD.
I'm talking about, so what is he going to do for the Knicks?
Listen, his game has changed, though, a little bit. You got to admit. It's just things that he need to work on. Now, I'm not advocating only for Randle. I'm just saying that in Tibbs' eyes, Randle is the guy, and they not just gonna, he's not going away unless they trade him. Randle's not going away, so you got to be careful of the players that you bring in if you're going to allow Randle to still handle the ball as much as he's handling it. Otherwise, now you really got a problem. So the Knicks have to decide next year, and they're probably going to pick up his option. They have to start deciding, is Randle long-term and we throw the bag at him, or do we just move on from Randle?
Yeah, that was my other concern. I was going to say, if 3 seconds left on the clock, if you throw it to anybody else but Randle, that means y'all got to get rid of him. Because
not necessarily. He could be a decoy. It depends on the game. Like, if you need a 3-point shot, you might can throw it to Bullock. Randle, to me, shouldn't get no end of no shots unless you give it to him in the post. To me,
point forward
he shouldn't. You give it to Quickly, you penetrate. His Quickly's move will work at any point in the game.
If they throw the bag at Randle gonna have to bring some.
But that's the team doing that.
That's what I'm saying. If they throw the bag at Randle better do his job and go call one of his NBA friends to come over here.
Yeah. All right. Let me just make one of the guys last week comment. Brian F. I can't pronounce the last name. We were going back and forth with a lot of stuff from last week's show. But one of the things he did talk about and comment on was about last year, this year not picking up a lot of the players. People weren't available. But I say Hayward, his contract was bad. But I look at where we are. I look at what Hayward could have done for us. Bad contract and all. Especially since you say stars aren't coming here. With this team we got right now at the small forward position, Hayward would have. We could possibly say we would have 6-7 more wins, if we had Hayward. So that that was, to me, the question was pretty good, but there was a lot of nice stuff in there. And then my man Andy K, I like what he said when he watches our show on Fridays. Is during his workout time, So that's pretty cool. But we want to hear what y'all think about Randle and the future with the Knicks, and of course, like always, like, comment. And definitely, please subscribe. All right, Joey?
That's it.
Peace.